Hey, hope everyone's all right today. So I'm going to show you loom knitting a coaster but with some thinner yarn. Yesterday I put a video up of making a coaster and it had really chunky yarn and oops, it has come out really nicely. You can see that on there, I think, but it is very thick. So my mug could fit on it okay, but I couldn't really, the glass I tried didn't sort of sit very well at all. So I'm probably going to use it to put some fossils that I collect on that. I think that'll look really nice. So I'm going to use some thinner yarn today, and I'm going to be using, I think it's a DK in thickness. It doesn't say on this label, it should do. Not that it matters. Anyway, it's Rowan and it's recycled fibres, and I'm putting 2 strands together to make one. So just like normal when I've been doing this, we need to make a slip knot. So we're going to go put the tail yarn over my hand, round, and I've got an X, and then I'm going to put the working yarn that's coming from the balls of wool through that hoop, that loop, and pull tight, and that is a slip knot. And what it does is if you pull it, it tightens, and then you can loosen it, just like an adjustable knot. I'm just going to put that on the anchor peg of my small loom. And now we're going to cast on. So the first thing we're going to do, keep this tail out of the way. I'm going to go round the back of the first peg, and then round the front of the second, and round the back, and round the front, all the way along. Now this cast on, there we go, will help you when you're cinching your ends when we're making the actual coaster and joining the ends together. Okay, so I'm going back and forward around each one. Okay, let's just make sure I've got this going the right way. There we go, nearly there now. There. Okay, so now I've got to come round this one and then around the back. So this one at the moment hasn't got anything on it, and that's fine. We're going to look at that in a few minutes. Now the next bit is a little bit more tricky because you've got to take the working yarn all the way round. Okay. And then you could anchor it on the anchor peg or just try and hold it. It is quite tricky, this. Let's get that tail out of the way again. Okay. So where you've got the 2 together is where you're going to go up and over each one to secure. So it's like alternate pegs. You're going to go up and over. Okay, so the bottom over the top and off. Bit tricky with 2 strands because I don't want to get the wrong strand. Okay, you can see here it's being a little bit more tricky. So up and over. And you do this all the way around until you get back to the beginning again. Okay, so again it's alternate, up and over, up. It's a bit tricky there because obviously I've got this coming round, up and over, a couple more, up and over, and then the last one is up and over. Okay, so I'm just going to push down those stitches that I've already done here and move that tail again. Eventually that tail, I will take it off that anchor peg. Okay, so we're here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start to wrap around each peg. So I'm going to go round, just like this, and it's called the E wrap. So this is going to help it or get us to do our first row. I'm going to do 16 rows altogether. Okay, make sure those are pulled down. Round we go. And we're at the beginning. Okay, so at the moment, if I come to here, I'll put it on the anchor. It doesn't really matter, I could hold it there actually. So this first peg still has only got one, and that's fine, because once we do the same again and go up and over, these will all have one as well. So up and over, up and over, all the way round. You could try and keep your tension as best you can. It's tricky. So obviously you're sort of working in a bit of a constrained area, but just keep doing your wraps the same tension, it'll be good. So bottom over the top, up and over, up. But be careful, so I've got my two strands here rather than just the one strand, just to make it a bit thicker. And now we're back at the end. This is my last one here. Give it more wool. And then up and over. Okay, so we're now, that's row 1, and I'm doing 16 rows. So I'm pushing it all down again. And now each one has one stitch on. So we're going to start again from the first peg here, and we're going to wrap again, just like we did before. So I'm coming round the back and around and around and around. I'm doing this all the way until I'm back at the last peg. So they've all got 2 loops on them. Okay, not quite there yet. Wrapping, wrap, wrap, wrap all the way around. And again, I'm just going to hold that in the front there. Okay, let's get a bit more comfy. And you do the same again. It just go literally up and over, all the way around. So this is now row 2. Like I said, I'm going to do 16 and then have a look. And then this is what you do. You carry on doing exactly the same thing all the way around. 16 times. This is my second one. So what I'll do, I'll start off the 3rd row, and then I'll go away off camera and then come back and again just show you what it looks like once I've done my 16 rows. If you want a bigger coaster, you obviously would do more rows, but I find 16 is about right. Okay. So that's row 2. I'm just going to push them down again. Pushing them down so you've got those ones on the bottom. And what I probably will do now is I can take off my slip knot, because that was just there to get it going. So I'm going to take it off the anchor peg, if it will let me. So pull it off. Yeah, you can actually pull out the slip knot, sorry, and you can pull that. You can pull this through your work if you can find it. Just pull it through. There we go. So it's down in the middle, so it's out of the way. And then you just continue to wrap again for row 3 and all the way around until you've got 16 rows. So I'm going to go away and do that now, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like when I've done that. Okay, so I'm now back. This is my 16 rows, and you can see that that actually looks really, really nice. That looks lovely. So I've got my bottom end, and then this is what I've been doing on top here. So I'm back at this beginning bit here, and now we need to cast off. So you need to leave a fair bit to your casting off with. I like to measure sort of around and then a bit more as well, just to make sure. So I'm going to cut here, somewhere there. Always a scary bit, because now you've got this live yarn and you've got to try and just get it all off. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle and I'm just going to put both of my strands through. There's a few ways that you can bind off, but I'm just going to show you the way that I like to do. So this was my last stitch here. Here's my yarn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this tail gets out of the way. No, this tail's still in the way. Right, there we go. So I'm going to take my needle and put it through the first stitch, and that's secured it. I could take it off there, but I'll probably just take it off at the end. And then the second, and then the third. And you do this all the way around. Okay, so bit by bit, there's 24 pegs on these small looms, so you've got to catch each one. So I'm just literally going through and I'm catching each stitch, because at the moment these stitches are all live, and if you took them off as they are, it would all become unravelled. So I'm going through each one. Yep, so there. And then this one, just got to make sure that you are definitely catching each one, that you're not missing one. Just go through each one. All the way back round to the start. So I'm just over halfway, I think, now. You can get quite quick at this. Like I said, there are other ways of doing it, but I like the fact that I've got the needle and it's definitely going through each stitch. That's the bit I like the best. Oh. Nearly done. This one, and then in here, you've got to make sure that they are all secure. So if you don't, you'll get a run in your work. You don't want to do that. So that's that one. Now I'm actually going to put one more in to secure this one and then this one. And then we should be good. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to take these off of the loom, because obviously they're still on at the minute. Like I say, you can take these off while you're stitching them together, but I'm just going to take mine off at the end. So I'm simply going to pull off with my fingers. You could use your hook tool to do this, doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to literally pull them off one by one, making sure you get all your strands. So they're going to come off and off. So I thought I'd missed one then, but I think we're good. And off and off. I think it's because I've got 2 strands on each loop. Just literally taking them off with my finger, pulling them up over the loop, over the peg. Okay, so I'm nearly there. Okay, that was my last one. Take it all out from the loom. And then you can see what we're left with here. So I've got a lot of wool. Right, let's just get that out of the way. There we go. So this is my, this is the end that I've just cast off here. And then this is the end that I cast on with here. So what we're going to do now is we're just literally going to pull that that top half there. So I think I might have missed something here. So I just need to fix that just for a second. Okay, so now I'm just gonna, there we go. So what I'm gonna do is I've pulled it all up and it's all come together quite nicely. What I need to do, because I've missed a few, I just need to catch them now. So I'm going to put my needle through and grab that one just to catch it, and then pull it together. And then there's a couple here. Not quite sure what I've done there, but I'm going to do exactly the same again. I'm just going to grab it. So I'm going to come through the top and then put my needle through both of them. I think they're all right. I don't think they're a missed stitch or anything, but I'm just going to make doubly sure that I'm not missing anything. So through one and through the second one. There we are. That's looking good. I like that. That looks nice, that. And then what I'm going to do, might just do one more for luck, just to make sure. You don't want it to be loose there. And then I could do a little knot, so put my needle through there and then knot. And then I'm going to push that down through the centre and pull through. Now I need to do the same for the bottom. So get your cast on end here, and again you pull tight just to secure it, like that. And like that. So you've got it vaguely looking, you know, nice and closed up. And then what you can do, now you've got this one that's come through the middle here, you can pull that down and it will join with the other one. And then it's just a case of neatening your work up. You want both of these both of these middle bits need to be, you know, pretty central. So that's not quite right yet. Keep straightening it out. And then eventually it will sort of come together. So you just got to make sure. It's actually quite a big coaster. Like that. And if you keep stretching it, out, neatening it all up, it will eventually form a nice circle. Then all you need to do is fasten your two ends together. So you've got to make sure it's all nice and taut. Okay, like this. And then I'm going to do a knot on top here. Make sure it's nice and tight. And I'm going to do another knot with it. Here. I could do one more, but I think that's okay as two there. And then I just need to hide my ends. So I'm going to take this end first. And I'm just going to put the needle through one layer like this and pull through. Get my scissors and just trim that end, and then do exactly the same on the other end. Got a huge amount of wool here. I'm just going to take a bit of that wool off, and then just going to thread this. Should let me. Yeah, okay. And I do exactly the same again. Put it through. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to go through one layer, somewhere down here. Doesn't matter too much where you go. Looks good. Bring it through, and again cut off your ends, and then those ends will just weave in, and there you have a coaster. Well, that took me 25 minutes maybe for that. And this is the other coaster that I made yesterday, so that you can compare them, so you can see how much thicker this one is compared to this one. There we go. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll do some more videos for you soon. Take care. Bye bye.